What's up, family? Man, I just got done watching a movie with my lady friend, and we're getting ready to go to Coast on ice cream, and I saw all these crows and I could hear them. That's what you hear in the background. And I was like, man, this is the perfect spot to record a video. You know what I mean? Now, I was hoping that you could see them in the background, but you could definitely hear them. I'm gonna talk to you guys about something today. Family, we have to grow up. We have to grow up. We have to understand how powerful our words are. You know, you hear so many people talking about magic and witchcraft and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? We have to grow up. You know what I mean? Man, in the old days, when I say old days, I'm talking about before technology and all this other stuff. You know, people used to go to doctors, and doctors would take herbs that they found and that they understood, and those herbs would cure whatever ailments that people had at that time. And it's interesting now that because we have technology and people have lost that understanding of working and being in balance with nature, that we have so demonized herbal medicine. We've so demonized herbal remedies. You know what I mean? We so demonized all these things and made it satanic and made it witchcraft, you know, when that's crazy. That's crazy, you know, and it just blows me away to hear people talk about, man, that's from the devil and that's this and that's this and that. First and foremost, I believe in God. I don't care what you refer to God as, whether you refer to God as source, the universe, chi, energy, power, whatever, you know what I mean? I believe in God. I believe that God created everything. And you hear me say this all the time. Where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. Again, where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. If God created the heavens and the earth, if God created all the plants, if God created all these herbs and all these things here, and he put these things here, then logic has to say, if God created this plant, then there has to be a reason for this plant to be here. If God created this plant, then not only is there a reason for this plant to be here, then it can't be bad. Using this plant can't be bad. Eating this plant, making this plant into a tincture, making an oil with this plant or whatever, it can't be bad. It can't be satanic. It can't be witchcraft if God created it and he put it here for our use. But because we don't understand that stuff, we demonize it. Because we don't understand that stuff, we always say, man, that's devil stuff, that's witchcraft. And call me what you want to call me. Call it what you want to call it. I don't care. You know what I mean? That shows your ignorance. You know what I mean? That's not a reflection on me. That's a reflection on you. That's a reflection on your ignorance. Just because you don't understand something doesn't mean that it's bad. People tell me all the time, man, you shouldn't use sage. You know, that's witchcraft and whoop-de-whoop. Man, sage has so many different benefits to it. Man, I'll cook with sage. I'll crumble it up and put it on some chicken and different types of meat. Man, I'll make teas with sage. You know what I mean? I burn sage, yes. I don't use sage. I don't burn sage to get rid of evil spirits. That's not why I burn sage. You know what I mean? That's not me. I burn sage because, number one, I like the smell. Two, it purifies the air. The breeze is blowing, the leaves are dancing in the background in agreement. You know what I mean? Burning sage purifies the air. And it's crazy because Christians, and I talk not against Christians, but they're the only ones that get on with all this foolishness. You know what I mean? Well, that's devil stuff and woo-doo. These are the same people that have baking soda in their refrigerators. The same people that have baking soda in their freezers. Why? Because it eliminates the smell. It eliminates the smell. So it's okay for you to take some baking soda and put it in your freezer to neutralize an odor or to eliminate a smell. But it's not okay to take a plant and burn it to purify the air. It's the same stuff. Man, we have to grow up, family. We have to grow up. We got to stop being so ignorant just willful ignorance. You know what I mean? It's okay to not understand some things, but don't get out and start blasting everybody because you don't understand it. Don't start talking against it because you don't understand it. Man, do your due diligence. Do your due diligence. I talk all the time about dandelion. And so many people talk about how dandelion is a weed. You know, stinging nettle. The breeze blew the tripod, my bad. Excuse me, can you hold this? Just to make sure I don't blow over. And so, man, we have to grow up. We have to grow up. We have to understand that, man, there's a purpose for everything. I believe, that out of all the plants that God put here, whatever ailments we may get, there's a natural cure for that ailment already in nature. I don't care what your sickness is. I don't care what your ailment is. I believe that for every ailment you get, every sickness you get, there is a natural cure that God already put here for us. You have not because you ask not. My people perish for lack of understanding. Because you don't understand and you refuse to open up your mind, you refuse to get outside your little box and go learn some stuff, you walk around sick, you walk around beat up, hurting, when you don't have to. We have to grow up. And we have to stop demonizing everything. We have to stop demonizing what we don't understand. Your words have power. I made a video the other day talking about, man, in your tongue possess ye life and death. When you're depressed, if you talk around talking about I'm depressed and I'm fat and I'm ugly and I'm stupid, nobody's gonna want me, I'm gonna be single the rest of my life, and I'm ugly and whoop-de-whoop. When you say all these things, you're speaking a spell on yourself. You're speaking a curse on yourself. Every time you tell yourself that you're broke, every time you tell yourself that you're gonna have to work the rest of your life because, man, you know what I mean? You're just gonna be broke forever. Every time you tell yourself that you're ugly, every time you tell yourself that you're fat, every time you tell yourself that you're stupid, you're speaking a curse on yourself. I used to work with a bunch of kids, and I used to bring them up to the ranch, and I would take them out into the garden. I have a huge garden in California where I used to live at, and I would take them to this mandarin orange tree, and I would have them pull down a fruit. And I would ask them, I said, how many seeds does it take to create a forest? And they would talk about millions. You would have to have millions and billions and trillions and all these big numbers to be able to start a forest. And I used to tell them, I said, well, go ahead and open up that fruit. Hold the seeds in your hand. And they would open up the orange or the mandarin. They would eat it and they would hold their little seeds. And I was tell them, look at the tree. How many oranges do you see in that tree? Some would say hundreds, thousands of kids, all kind of numbers. And I was explaining to them, all of that fruit came from one seed. Stay with me. All of that fruit came from one seed. I've gotten fruit on that tree for years. That tree was there before I got to the property. But for years I lived there and got hundreds, if not thousands, of fruit on that tree. Every single year. All of that. That tree's still there, still producing fruit. All of that came from one seed. Stay with me, I'm still going somewhere. What am I talking about? Family. One seed went into the ground, sprouted up and became this tree that brought forth all of this fruit, this abundance of fruit. Every time you speak evil, every time you speak a curse over your life, it springs forth and brings forth fruit in your life. Every time you tell yourself you're ugly, every time you tell yourself you're stupid, every time you tell yourself that you're fat and you're stupid, and I would tell these kids, I said, you know what? You reap what you sow. That's a universal law. That's a principle that cannot be changed. And so when somebody says something to you, and this is what I explain to the kids, it's like, look, when somebody tells you that you're ugly, how does that make you feel? That hurts your feelings, that pisses you off, that makes you angry, that makes you mad, that makes you feel like you really are ugly, that makes you feel like you really are stupid, and all this other negative stuff. Because somebody says something to you, it shatters your ego, it shatters your self-esteem. And so what happens from that? Man, all this other stuff, you start doubting yourself, you start hating yourself, and all this other stuff, you start being mean to other people, you start closing up, you stop trusting people, you get all this other crap coming from somebody planting a seed in you that's brought forward and brought forth fruit. Flip that around. Tell yourself that you're beautiful. Tell yourself that you're successful. Tell yourself that you're going to be successful. You're going to do all that you came here to do. Tell yourself that you're powerful. You're magical. You're creative. You're an expression of God. And when you tell yourself this, man, I could do all things through him that's within me. You know what I mean? Man, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit. And what am I talking about? Man, my soul nature. Man, I could speak things. I don't have to be on my grind. I could speak things and just speak things into existence because we're that powerful. Just like when you speak negativity into people's lives, look at the impact that it has on them. Flip that around. You tell somebody that they're doing good. You tell somebody that, man, you look nice today. Man, I like the way you did that. Man, using your element. Man, that's beautiful. I love that piece of art that you did. Man, that sounds good. Man, when you sing, it's just music to my ears. Man, when you speak nice things to people, man, you build their self-esteem. You build them up. You don't know what they're capable of doing just by you being nice to somebody. You don't know the impact that that's going to have on their life. You know it's going to be a good impact because of your intentions, because of what you did. Just like when you plant that seed. You plant that seed, what happens? That tree grows forth. You reap what you sow. When you plant negativity, man, you're going to reap a whole bunch of negativity. You're going to reap a whole bunch of hatred. You're going to reap a whole bunch of ugliness and toxicity. You know what I mean? You plant love. That's what grows. That's what grows. That's magic. You know what I mean? That's magic. That's magic. That's manifestation. I speak things into existence. Good or bad. Good or bad. That's how powerful we are. That's how magical we are. That's how anointed we are, or whatever else word you want to come up with. You have in your life what you manifested in your life. I'm going to say that again. You have in your life what you've manifested in your life. If things ain't going good for you, things are kind of bad, you manifested that. You manifested that. So often, so many of us, we want to just say, oh man, I manifested this job. Man, I manifested this car. I manifested all this good stuff. No, you manifest everything. You manifest everything. And so when you see somebody or you get in a relationship with somebody and man, this person is like the best thing going, and man, this is like the most beautiful person, the sweetest person, the most loving person, the most gentle person, you manifested that. You created that. You created that. You spoke that into existence. By you saying, man, I want this. Man, I would like to have a woman like this. Man, I would like to have a man like this. Somebody that gets me. Somebody that understands me. Somebody that's not going to judge me. Somebody that's not going to put me down. Somebody where I can feel free and feel comfortable with. To where I can express myself and just be naturally me. You manifest that person. You reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. Not just actions, but in your words. In your words, in your thoughts. In your thoughts. If you think negative, man, that's all you're going to see is a bunch of negativity. That's all that's gonna be around you is a bunch of negativity. It's because that's what you're projecting out. That's what you're expecting. That's what you're looking for. We have to grow up. We have to understand that we're powerful beyond our understanding. We're able to manifest anything and everything we want. You just don't understand it. You don't understand the power that you have. My hope and prayer is that you learn to become one with yourself. You learn to become one with nature. Nature is God's expression to us of his love for us. Nature is God's expression of beauty. I'm sitting out here and I'm tripping because it's fall and all the trees, the branches or the leaves are changing colors and they're all falling. Start talking about the trees and now they're dancing, you know. That's God's expression. We can hear God when we get out in nature. Man, I could throw my hand up and just embrace his hug, you know, as the breeze comes and just wraps itself around me. As the breeze just comes and just puts a kiss on my cheek, you know what I mean? That's God. That's God. As I'm listening to all the birds, that's God. That's God. Get outside of your box. Get outside of your dogma. Get outside of your ego and get into nature. Learn to humble yourself and stop acting like you know everything. And understand that, man, there's so much that we can learn from nature. There's so much that nature can teach us if we would just humble ourselves. If we just sit there and be a willing student, we can learn a lot. We can learn how to heal ourselves. We can learn how to cure whatever's going wrong in our lives. We can learn how to heal our wounds, heal our trauma. Family, magic is all around you. Magic is just a perception. There's a breeze just coming in. Like, yes, say that. Magic is just a perception of your connection with God. You see it as magic. I see it as just manifestation. I just see it as synchronicities. I just see it as, man, purpose. It's just purpose. Family, I know the birds to some of you is going to be annoying and you're not going to listen to this because of the birds. But yet you sit there and you'll watch all that drama on TV. Yet you sit there and you listen to all that negativity on TV. You'll sit there and listen to your friends and get on social media and you listen to all that, all that petty gossiping, all that slander and all that hatred coming across the news media and everywhere else. You'll listen to all that. That entertains you. You love, all of that BS. Housewives of Atlanta and all that other stupid crap. You love that stuff. Jerry Springer and just Maury Povich, whatever these shows are. You love that reality crap. Man, that's music to your ears. But you come out here and you listen to the leaves and the branches and the birds, and this is noise to you. Man, we have to grow up. I love you guys. Happy healing. Peace.